So at this point, I'd like to switch on to the next session, and I will introduce Teju, who is going to take us on job readiness, especially for the tech ecosystem. So by way of introduction, Teju is a talent management specialist with the core of experience in talent acquisition, so that is recruitment. And over the course of her career, she has worked in recruitment consulting, matching top-notch candidates with high-profile clients across industries like technology, management consulting, energy, oil and gas, health, pharmaceuticals. So you can actually tell that she's worked with a lot of industries. She's also a globally certified HR professional with a master's degree in HRM. And she's also definitely extremely passionate about people management and the complexities that come with it. And when she's not working, you can find her studying African history, methodologies, and writing poems. So without further ado, let me hand it over to Teju so she can start her presentation. Teju, welcome.
Hi, Chris. Hi, everyone. Thank you for your time. Thank you for that beautiful introduction. So basically, today's session is about job readiness. I hope not to split into different times. So I'll just start. Give me a minute to share my screen, please. Can everybody see my screen?
We can see it.
Yes.
Okay, fantastic. Okay, so a brief introduction here. I'm Tejumade. I'm an engineering recruiter here with Andela. I'm seated in the Nigerian office right now. And today's session is basically about job readiness, focusing on the tech job market. The goal, or at the end of the session, I'm hoping that you all have like very good information on how to position yourself for the job market and be much more competitive globally. So next slide. Okay, the tech job market is basically still called like the labor market in the tech industry, where the interface is between the demand and supply of job opportunities within the technology industry. There are different players, but the key players are the employers, those who demand the skills. Companies that we're very familiar with, Facebook, Google, and others. They demand skills that would help them move their business further into much more probably profitability or mission-driven. So the other key player is talent. That's the supply. The skills, majorly software engineers like you looking for job opportunities. Really, this people with these skills are demanded in the market to help the employers achieve their set goals. One thing I think that you all should know is that the job market, especially the technology industry, is very, very agile and very competitive. For you to excel in this industry, you have to sign your fate to a long life of learning, in the sense that skills that were relevant 30 years ago might not be exactly as relevant right now. And in the next 20 years, for you to stay relevant, you need to keep developing yourself. So this leads me to the next slide that talks more about top skills in high demand in the technology industry. So this is not an exhaustive list at all. These are just like few skills that are in very high demand based off of the article published by Forbes earlier this year. So some of the skills, you can look it up in your spare time. Machine learning, AI, Internet of Things, cybersecurity, data science, cloud security, cloud technology, and data engineering, back-end, full stack, front-end for web development, site reliability engineering stroke DevOps, quality assurance, technical product management, and emerging technologies. I can definitely guarantee you that these skills are very top-notch, and as a recruiter myself, I know how long or how I put in so much work to try to get engineers to join us, really. So if you have the skills that are marketable and sellable to the employers, I think you are definitely top-notch. Next slide. So what employers are looking for is one thing for you to have skills, is another thing for you to be able is another thing for it to be sellable globally and locally. So one thing that employers look out for is technical skills. So what really are technical skills? Basically, the knowledge and experience to perform technical tasks. In this case, technology, like in the technology industry. So of course, for different industries, there are like different skills that people look out for. But for technology, using web development as an example, employers look out for like really solid experience and knowledge in practical experience in programming languages. There are lots and lots of programming languages that can be learned and are still relevant today. And as much as they are old ones, there are also newbies, like new technologies coming up every time. So employers look out for very good knowledge in it and practical experience in programming languages like Python, C#, Java, Golang, Elixir, machine learning, and a whole lot really. So like I said, stressing it again, knowledge and experience in it. Also, good knowledge and practical experience with software development lifecycle. So like I said, I'm using the web development software engineering as a case study here, not necessarily others. So software development lifecycle. So employers want to know if you are very familiar with project management in software engineering. Are you familiar with Agile or waterfall or the mixture of all? This definitely helps position you better. If you have good experience, it helps position you better for global opportunities. Also, best practice methodologies, engineering principles like test-driven development, design patterns, architecture, solid principles, dry principles. So it's one thing for you to be able to code, is another thing for you to be able to put it on a much more global market, like on the best scale, really. So I've had situations whereby like I speak to candidates and they probably have like very good coding skills, but when you start to ask them about best practices, like their experience with testing and like test-driven development, the concept, the experience, also like the understanding of OOP designs and solid principles, dry principles, you find out that some of them, there's a bit of a knowledge gap. And the truth is that employers will not buy talents or skills that they do not feel like is worth it or that would serve them better. So for you to be much more ready or marketable on a global scale, it's very important for you to know these best practices, not just know them in theoretical sense, but also have like hands-on experience with them. In the course of the presentation, I'll talk about how to build some of that. Also, data structures and algorithms. So these are some of the things that some of the software, computer science fundamentals that you would have to take. I know that sometimes they teach it in schools, but apart from the knowledge, like I said, you need to know you need to have like good experience with it. So apart from technical skills, there are like other skills that employers really, really look out for. And the next one is soft skills. It's one thing for you to have good technical skills, is another thing for you to have good soft skills. Soft skills are super important. And what are really soft skills? They are like interpersonal attributes that help you grow or help you stand out or adapt in a workplace. Employers really look out for people who are culture fit. No matter how fantastic you are technically, if you're not a culture fit, it would be a no-no. I've had situations, I and my colleagues have had situations whereby we prospect candidates and some employers are not really interested in them as good as they are because they probably do not have the soft skills to excel in their environment. And what are some of the soft skills that employers are looking for? Leadership. I believe that I'm sure that people say that they are born leaders, but I strongly believe that you can grow into that. And how you can do that, how you gain leadership skills is by really volunteering initiatives. Employers are not looking for people who they will coerce to do the job. They want go-getters from day one. Even if you do not have all the technical skills that they're looking for, it is leadership skills that can help build some of the technical skills. In a situation whereby you are very curious, you're very passionate, you are very you're looking to learn. Employers look out for skills like that can help you, and those skills can help even build some of the technical skills that might be lacking. They want people that can hit the ground running, people that can lead stuff, and people that can mentor juniors. Yeah. So in terms of another skill is communication. So it is super, I cannot stress how communication is key, in the sense that for you to be able to do your job well or do your work well, you need to be able to communicate. You need to be able to articulate your thoughts and express them to your partners, to your direct reports, to really your stakeholders, both internally and externally. Communication is so key, in the sense that we've had situations whereby candidates candidates are like really, really good at their job, but because of their inability to communicate well, that became like a major blocker. And of course, for you to, like I said, for you to do your job well, you need to be able to communicate that. Also, problem-solving skills. I feel like problem-solving skills is also a technical skill, but definitely a soft skill, in the sense that the reason why you are employed to do something is to solve a problem. The reason why a lot of organizations exist today is to solve a problem. The reason why they are still sustainable is because they are constantly solving a problem. So if you are not open to solving or creating a particular solution that fits your organization or fits the market you're in, you will become very, very irrelevant. So problem-solving skills are very, very essential to succeed in any organization. And I can tell you firsthand that it is a soft skill that employers look out for. In fact, they incorporate it in their technical assessment. So problem solving, employers are not looking for people that you would give a task and you literally teach them how to figure it out. Not to say that training is not allowed. Training is super allowed, but they want people who are proactive, who are very analytical, who can come out with to prefer solutions on how to go about solving a particular blocker or unblocking something. So problem-solving skills are super, super relevant in what employers are looking for. Adaptability in a high VUCA environment. The technology industry is constantly changing. You have to be agile, nimble, fast, adaptable in any situation. So what VUCA really means is volatility, uncertainty, complex, and ambiguity. And we see that a lot of companies right now, for you to remain sustainable, you might have to go through a period of change. And change, like they say, is the only constant thing. So adaptability is like a major soft skill that I believe that I wouldn't say everybody has to have, but it's something that employers now look out for. One of my favorite interview questions I literally ask candidates, figuratively, have you been thrown into the ocean and you had to learn how to swim? What that really means is, have you been put in a situation whereby you had to adapt on the spot? You probably had to learn something while carrying out a particular task. How do you go about adapting? That's one thing I really, really look out for. I believe that, especially with startups, if you are not flexible, if you're not adaptable, you might not be able to survive there. There are some organizations that are already very structured. They literally you don't have to have strong adaptable skills to be able to survive there. They have all the documentations in their production environment right. But there are organizations that don't have that, or that have that, and you still have to be able to adapt. So so some of these soft skills are very, very, they're more specific to the organizations you work in, but they are super, super important. Okay, next slide. Okay, mistakes job seekers make. I am very, very big on some of these things. Some of these mistakes, I have seen it a lot of times. I'm sure that my, sorry, I have to go back, sorry. So I'm sure that a lot of my colleagues can attest to this, and major mistakes that job seekers make, especially entry-level those who are just getting into the job market. They apply for jobs that they have little or no knowledge about. I'm not going to say that it's exactly a bad thing, but for you to apply for a role, you should have like, it is expected for you to have like a significant level of information or how that, or that of that role. Not everything, because at the end of the day, you might not know everything. You need to constantly learn. Learning is infinite, but for you, for a particular role that you apply for, you need to have good knowledge about it. And one of the mistakes is that people do not, especially entry levels, they do not have a lot of experience, no, a lot of knowledge about the role. Also, another mistake is inadequate experience. I cannot stress about it. I cannot over stress this, in the sense that experience is very important. I've seen CVs for like principal roles of about 10 years experience, and people for with about 2 years experience apply for it. So one thing that is very important is experience. You cannot underrate experience. And I see a lot of job seekers not having the adequate experience to perform on that role. In the next couple of slides, I'm going to talk about how you can really gain some of this experience. So yeah. Also, little or no application of best practice methodologies in their chosen career field. Best practice is very important. I'm an advocate of being globally competitive. What that means is being able to sell your skill on a much more global scale. The reason is, if you stay local, even the people on the global scale are coming to take a job. So the more global you are, the more opportunities you have, the more competitive that you can be. So one thing I have noticed is that not everybody, not a lot of software engineers have the experience with best practice. They probably have learned about it, but they do not apply it to their job. One thing that people look out for, or employers look out for, is your ability to write unit tests very well, because you don't want a situation whereby you are in a production environment and you go and maybe you didn't write the right test and something breaks and it crashes the whole product. So major mistake is that people do not apply best practice with whatever in the career field that they're choosing, whether it's software engineering or ML. So it's very important for you to know best practice and apply it. Also, poor representation of their skills on their resume. For a recruiter, we spend averagely six seconds on a resume. If we do not see what they're looking for, but we can literally pass on that CV. The truth is that we review like quite a number of applications, dropping in every minute. So we do not have that luxury of time to spend like 2 minutes on a particular resume. And this is a mistake, in the sense that you keep applying for jobs and you wonder why they're not reaching out to you. Maybe one of the reasons is because you do not represent your skills well on your resume. There's going to be a session next tomorrow that my awesome colleague is really going to talk more about profiling and resumes. So, but this is just noting that this is a common mistake that job seekers make. Then poor soft skills. A lot of people focus on just the technical skills. I know how to code, I know how to program, but they do not build the soft skills. I always tell people that for you to even get anybody to listen to you, employers, you have to have good soft skills. They look out for people that fit into their culture, people that can communicate exceptionally well, and that's really how you get the job, with the combination of your technical skills and soft skills. I've spoken to quite a number of engineers, and I find out that they do not know how to articulate their thoughts, especially some of the things that they've done in production, some of the projects that they've handled, some of the initiatives that they've handled. In some slides, I would talk more about how you can deal with that. So, are you job ready? Some questions that you need to ask yourself are: what skills are in demand in the job market that are of interest to me? What particular skills am I very, very much interested in that is of high value in the job market? Do you possess the skills? Yes or no? If yes, are they good good enough to be bought. It's one thing for you to have skills. It's another thing for them to be good enough to be bought by employers. If not, what do you do, or what do I do? So in the next slides, we'll answer some of these questions. How to be job ready. Okay, you want to go into a particular career field, you do not know where, you are confused about what to do. These are just few steps that you can figure it out. The first one is you carry out the personal SWOT analysis. What are your strengths and what are your weaknesses, the opportunities out there, and also the threats. No, it is very important to stress that the job market is super competitive. So you have to have your own competitive advantage. And this is what the personal SWOT analysis would help you in figuring out where to go into, what career you have to build in. Also, market research for any industry that you want to go into, or for any field that you want to go into. It is important to carry out the research in the sense that you're going to be looking at what opportunities are out there, what area do you want to specialize in, what is really this job into. I know that a part of there's heavy research going on in AR and VR right now, and machine learning and the likes of them. So, and there are different publications, articles that you can read just to have more insight to like some of the paths that you might take. Yes, and also speak to professionals within the field. One thing that worked for me when I just started my career was that I had like mentors that I reached out to, especially on LinkedIn, people that I felt like would impact me professionally, and they pretty much let me know how the talent acquisition market is and some of the skills that I needed to build, and I was privileged to like start with that. So these are like some of the things that you can look out for in terms of if you are really confused on what path to take in. Then also another very important part in getting ready for the job market is you have to have very good theoretical knowledge of what you're going to be doing. So let's say I'm coming out of school, I am not even a computer science student, but I want to go into a career in software engineering. What would be the first thing to do? How do I get ready for that kind of career? I take courses online. There are lots and lots of sites that educational sites that would definitely contribute to your knowledge. Pluralsight, Coursera, these are just a few really. Pluralsight, Coursera, Udemy, Udacity, Code Academy. There are lots of them that you can take online, learn online too. I know that there are lots of self-taught developers that are doing excellently well. And one way that they switched careers or got into the job market was that they started with theoretical knowledge via the sites. There are also technical schools like NIT, also universities that take courses in software engineering, computer science, in information technology, and all sorts. So these are just a few. In your spare time, you can just do a bit of research and read more about it. Also, how to be job ready is one thing for you to have good theoretical knowledge, is another thing for you to have practical experience. In fact, practical experience is very, very, very key. I cannot overstress that. And how do you get experience? I know a lot of people ask me this, especially job seekers, in the sense that there are few jobs and like the best of the best of the best people are competing for these same jobs that everybody's competing for. I have technical knowledge. I have gone online. I've taken a course in Udemy, and I've learned basics of software engineering. But how do I get this experience, this practical experience that I need to get a job? I always tell people that it's step by step. And the first step I would do is, first step that I would suggest is volunteer work. A lot of people would say that they cannot work for employers that cannot pay. However, I am a product of volunteering. I started my career off by volunteering to handle some little recruitment projects, which I added to my CV. I worked with like senior recruiters then that I literally begged them to like allow me just work with them on like a very small gig, and so that I can add it to my CV. So I would suggest that since you've gotten all the technology, once you've gotten all the theory or the theoretical knowledge, you need hands-on experience. Not all companies would be open to training you from the scratch. Not all the companies have that luxury of training. Some companies just literally want you to come in and get on the job and deliver. There are companies like that, which is not a bad thing. So for you to get into that space, for you to be job ready, you have to get experience. And how do you get this experience? You volunteer. Volunteering by speaking to senior consultants, working on volunteering on their projects, or hackathons. I have definitely, I know people within my networks that are like junior engineers, mid-level engineers that have gotten jobs via hackathons. So basically, like, people coming together, problem solving and building something, and they add this to their resume, which allows them maybe land an entry-level job or moves them to like some sort of internship level employment. Also, internships are good. There are companies that look out for software engineering internship programs all the time. A lot of them, lots and lots of them. Internships are good. They're a very good way to kickstart your career. Also, like I said, boot camps whereby you are trained for a period of XXX weeks on your training theory and are told to build stuff in practical. I have like a testimony of somebody that I know who like literally went to boot camps and got his first full-time employment just based off of the experience that I got in boot camps, and is doing fantastically well. So these are ways, this is not an exhaustive list, like I said, these are ways that you can get more, these are ways that you can build skills to be job ready. Also for communication, if you need to build communication skills, you take courses online for communication. If you need to learn leadership skills, volunteer on initiatives. I can tell you that there are a lot of skills that you can get just by volunteering on initiatives. I and my colleagues, apart from our day-to-day recruitment jobs, we try as much as possible to build other skills in relevant areas like employee branding and diversity and inclusion. And this is just based off of leading initiatives or collaborating in initiatives. And I can tell you that we built very good skills, soft skills, and also technical skills. So yeah, these are ways that you can develop some of the skills that would allow you to be job ready. So also, it's important, I will not stress too much on this because there's going to be a session on this tomorrow, but it's important for you to have a good profile, like a good resume that sells yourself. Because I always say that your profile is the first representation before any other person meets you. You might be super fantastic, a fantastic unicorn developer, but if your CV doesn't show that, I will not be able to reach out to you, or the next recruiter will not be able to reach out to you. So it's important you sell yourself well, profile yourself well. And like a very good CV or a very good resume would have like the following. This is not an exhaustive list. And like I said, I'm not gonna go deep into it, but they'll have years of experience, years of production experience, the skills and the tools in the programming languages, some of the things that you built, also education. It's very important that you spell it out. And I think that's the end of my presentation. Happy to take questions now.
Amazing session from Teju. That was really great. I can see the YouTube chat section is actually going crazy. People have a lot of feedback, a lot of questions on your presentation. So we'll just pick a few and jump onto them. But for the learners, as you are actually watching this, if you have any questions, post them on Slido. That is where you can actually get to see them better, and then push them to the speakers who might be able to answer your questions. So Teju, first question is, Michael is asking, should you highlight soft skills on your portfolio, or do you communicate them during interviews?
So you can highlight them on your portfolio. It doesn't have to be like too elaborate, but of course, during the interviews, it would be tested. So if you say you have great communication skills, of course, when I'm talking to you, I'll know if you have great communication skills. If you say you have problem solving skills, when I'm speaking to you, if I give you a problem, it will probably be tested too. So of course you can highlight them on your CV. Don't spend too much time spelling it out because it would obviously be tested. Yeah.
Okay, great. And the next question is, how relevant is personality profiling when recruiting for global tech jobs?
So very relevant, I would say. A lot of companies, global tech companies, send out like personality tests to see if you would fit into their culture. It's one way to test for culture. So I would say it is super, super relevant. I would also advise people that when you are taking personality tests, you try as much as possible to know. It's a way to test yourself. You know yourself. If you know yourself, you know the kind of organizations that you work in. Right now, there are some organizations that I would rather not work in because I know that my personality can't fit that environment. So personality tests, to answer your question, personality tests are super, super important.
Amazing, amazing. And I think in regards to especially the GADS program that we have, so many people are actually coming into technology and they have very little experience in terms of their portfolio. So because of that, how do you think that someone can actually write a proper CV that can get them jobs since they don't have prior experience? They just have the skills that they've been learning all through.
Okay, sorry, I'm not sure that I got the question. What exactly is the question?
The question is for someone who doesn't have...
Can you hear me? I check.
Teju, yes, we can hear you.
Okay, so what's the question?
Great. So the question is, for learners who don't have prior experience, or rather they don't have things in their portfolio that they can actually say they built this and this, how is the best way they can sell themselves on their CV or on their resume?
Okay, so I always say, like I said in this session, you've gotten technical skills. You have to find a way to get the core experience. I'm an advocate for don't wait for opportunities to look out for you. Go and look for opportunities. And how do you look for opportunities? You pick out stuff and you build. Don't wait for, don't think of a problem that you're trying to solve and try to see how technology can solve that. Even if it's very, very minimal. You put it live and you add it to your resume that you have built this. I can assure you that would take you a step further, like a step into getting probably a very good internship. Also, what you can do is that you can volunteer to work on open source community projects. I'm sure that there are lots of developer community that have projects like that. I know that quite a number of them have that. Volunteer for that. Attend hackathons. I would tell you that I know people that have gotten very great internship opportunities just by attending hackathons. So I know that a lot of companies, like if you are like first 10 or first 5 in hackathons, they just take you in as interns. And if you do fantastically well, that could lead to a full-time employment. So don't wait for opportunities. Don't wait till there's the right opportunity. Go and find it. I am like an advocate for that, and I'm a testimony for that. I never waited for jobs to come. I had to work for free for a while just so I can add some stuff on my resume. And during interviews, I know when they ask me questions, I know what it is about. So don't wait for opportunities to come. Go look for them. Join hackathons, join boot camps, build stuff. It could just be a singing app. I've met people that just build singing apps, and that led them to like the next phase of getting an internship, or just build like really random stuff, but build it in the right way. So during interviews, like when the interviewer is conversing with them, they know that they know this stuff. They just need more experience, and just because of the passion and the tenacity, the persistence that you put into it, that can land you a good time, not necessarily a full-time job, but land you to the next level of you building proper skills, really, proper experience. Yeah.
Great. That exact response actually answers a lot of the questions that people had. I kind of like you wrapped up them in one answer. So that is a great way of finishing off your session. Thanks a lot, Teju, for joining in. And for any other thing, I think we'll
Thank
share
you.
any contacts to you so that they can ask questions directly.